everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you who even, pop in and pop out. Thanks for the view. If you want, give me a thumbs up and a hit subscribe. And we do so much cool stuff here. So one of the things that I like to do just on my own, because we have other people that join us all the time, is I like to do mysteries and murder mysteries or historical mysteries, all kinds of mysteries. I have not been on the train for that lately since the holidays. One thing after the other, we shoot out of the mothership, London Alley Salon here in Denver, Colorado, Sanctuary City. Thank you very much. Yes, yes, yes. And I have been so slammed at work, and then, just whatever, so many interruptions with life and the flu and blah, blah, blah. So I am back on the train to Mysteryland. And today we are going to do a very short mystery. It has very little information on it. And I'm going to make a notation. I want to dig deeper and see if this has been pulled out of the cold case files, because I honestly think that they can solve this crime. I really do. So again, thanks for joining. All right, 1977, Henryville, Indiana. Very small town, rural. And it's very small town. 3 boys go missing. Richard Sweeney, poor dear, only 8 years old. Jeffrey Burkett, he is only 15 years old. And Donald Abel, he is only 19 years old. So, the first body found on April 28th was Richard. He was the little 8-year-old. He was found in a place called Blue Lick Auction Barn. And give me 1 second. I just got over the flu big time, so my throat's a little scratchy still. And also, I have a really bad brain fog right now. So if I'm always looking at my notes, but I'm always looking at my notes anyway. Who am I kidding? Yeah, no. But anyway, Blue Lick Auction Barn, which apparently is an auction place. It was chickens. I guess they auctioned chickens. I don't know. But poor little Richard Sweeney was found 8 years old in the loft of this auction barn. He was covered in these awful dirty rags. He was tied. He had been assaulted. He had been asphyxiated. I can say it. I don't have front lobal like the 45. I promise you that. He was found, and it was a very sad situation. On June 10th, 2 months later, Jeffrey Burkett was found. He was the 15-year-old. Now, his circumstances are just terrible. The poor guy. He was assaulted. He had been beaten terribly. He had, his hands were tied. He was actually found tied to a tree with barbed wire. He had a skull fracture, and he also had those incisions, medical incisions. What are they called? Surgical incisions in his body, in different places of his body. Who the F does stuff like this? I mean, how barbaric and sick is a person to get to this point in their lives to do something like this to another person? I don't know. I get really caught up in the emotions, so I try not to. My girl, this is funny. My girls and my husband, when I started this podcast, I was all on the political thing, and I could not contain myself, and it wasn't a good look for me. And I was told it wasn't a good look for you. So when I talk about politics now, I just do these really super short, like 1 to 4 minute videos, and I don't speak. I write on sticky notes, like up to whatever sentences I'm going to do. Like, it's usually the whole thing is like maybe 4 to 6 different sentences or something. And that way I'm not like like my kids and my husband have alluded, I don't come off as cross. Oh yeah, Bad Bunny, you're the baddest bunny on the planet. Badass bunny. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. And then now back on track. It's okay to get off track here and there. Donald was the third victim. He was the 19-year-old. He was found in September 27th, 1977. His hands were also bound. He was beaten terribly. He had a skull fracture. Now, a little different from the other two. His shoes were missing. And also, he was on a bicycle that day, and his bike was never found. So his shoes and his bicycle were never, ever found. Additionally, they found a hammer near his body, which was taken into, hopefully, evidence. I mean, I would assume so. And hopefully it's still there. That's all I've got. Can you believe this? These 3 murders, 1977. This is what I've got. 4 different suspects. Not much on that either. The first one was a suspect for Jeffrey's murder only. Jeffrey was the 15-year-old. One suspect for him, and he moved to Florida shortly after the murder. Nothing happened. Second suspect was suspected of all 3 murders. This person lived in Crothersville, Indiana, another very small town, and nothing. Third suspect, last name, I don't know, could be first name Stargel or Stargel, Stargel. That's all I know. Nothing. And then the fourth one, now this is the one that I find fascinating because all 3 boys were found within a few months of each other. They disappeared and then were found. And that tells me that just really seems really local to me. You know, if you've got like a serial killer kind of traveling around, all 3 of these boys came from the same little town, Henryville. And I think they knew each other. And I think that even the 2 had even been to the same school, the 2 older ones. So, I don't know, it's just really bizarre. I don't think a serial killer, 3 boys from 3 different places would... It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. To me, this sounds local. Okay, so suspect number 4. A doctor that lived in Henryville, in the town, had 2 sons. Now, at first, I thought my research was telling me that the doctor was the suspect. But then, further, I found that the research was actually saying that his 2 sons were the suspects. After the bodies were found, he up and moved his family to Chicago. Now, the bodies were all found within 5 miles of each other. And here's another strange fact. Jeffrey Burkett, the poor boy, the 15-year-old who was tied to the tree, he was found on the property owned by the family of the first victim, the little 8-year-old, Richard Sweeney. This just too close for home, man. Like, come on. I don't think this is like somebody jumping off a train and going and doing awful deeds and getting back on a train again. To me, this sounds like local. For entertainment purposes only, I'm sorry, I gotta go with the doctor's sons. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because number 1, the 19-year-old. A 19-year-old is not a kid. Okay, even a 15-year-old can be a kid. 19, you're pretty much like a young adult. It might take a couple of people to restrain a 19-year-old. You, at the minimum, would have to have some sort of weapon, probably, or more than one person. And how, I don't know, it's so tragic how these boys were treated. Like, I don't know how one person can do so much damage. For Richard, the little 8-year-old, I guess I get that, but it's not jiving. It's not jiving with me at all. So what I think I would like to do, I'm going to pull some cards, just maybe 3. 3 cards, please. Give me 1 second. Let's pull some cards. And see if we can get any clearer vision of the circumstances of this terrible, horrific situation that occurred. It's just terrible. I don't know how people, what goes wrong in a person to get, I don't get it. Don't get it. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, have some popping out here. We're going to take a look at those. All right. These cards aren't really telling me who did it. Someone knows something. Child, somebody knows something. There were a lot of choices to be made, but I don't think that they were handled well. And let's see if I can get that closer. I don't know. It is what it is. 7 of Cups. A lot of choices to made. Maybe things weren't being seen for what they were. These were the cards that popped out. Whoever did this is really immature and like needs a lot of attention. And I'm not specifically saying like, oh, I'm the one, you know, like a serial killer, you know, they leave their marks or whatever. No, they were on a high, like an ego trip high. And they are a little off. And I'm saying they, I don't know why, but we're going to get into it because I'm going to light up the lights too and see if we can get more information. And this was, they just were on a joyride. They did not care. There was a lot of pleading. They just went about their business and they totally ended 3 beautiful families. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They didn't care then. They don't care. I doubt they're probably still around. If they are, whoever did this, he, they, them, she, whatever. They don't care. It's been hidden. It's been dropped. It's been hidden. It's been dropped. Okay. Well, anyway, let's just leave the cards alone. Let me see if I can light up these lights and see if we can get even more information. Okay. Let me pull this down just a little. All right. Okay. I'm trying to sit up straight. I'm just so lazy because of this cold. It's just made me so lazy. All right. All right. So we're here to talk about the Henryville murders of 1977, the 3 boys. We have Richard, Jeffrey, and Donald, 8, 15, and 19. And the crime was never solved. Yes, it was never solved. Was the crime ever solved? No. Okay. Let me move it down just a little bit more so you can see a little better. Maybe if I move back a little. Okay. That's better. Okay. So what I would like to ask you is, whoever murdered these boys, was it one person who murdered all 3? Yes. Okay. Yes, it was. Okay. Was it one person who murdered all three boys? No. Reset, please. Reset. Thank you. Was it two people who murdered these three people? Yes. Were these two people related? Were they related? Yes. Well, let me ask it this way. Were they brothers? Yes, they were brothers. Okay. Were they the sons of the doctor that lived in, what is it again? Henryville. Brain fog. Were they the sons of the doctor who lived in Henryville? Yes. Entertainment only. Thank you very much. Was the doctor aware that his boys had done this? No. That was a bad question because maybe he knew after, because I think they had to have had help. Maybe did they have help covering up their crimes? No. Okay. So then why did the doctor just up and move then if he didn't know? Did the doctor know that his sons had, yes. Did the boys, the doctor's sons, because I don't have names, did the doctor's sons who presumably murdered, yes, they did they use a scalpel, a surgical scalpel from their father's utensils? Yes. Was this predetermined? Were these murders predetermined? No. Now, in the 70s, for anyone from the olden days like me who got to so freely grow up in the 70s, let me explain something to you. On a Saturday, on a Sunday, you get up, you've already been on the phone, your dial phone, made your arrangements with your gazillion friends or few friends. Everybody gets on their bikes, meets at someone's house or at a place. You're gone. You're gone for the day. You got squirt guns. You got, maybe you're holding a tennis racket. You go get an icy. You stop at the sub shop. You go to the local convenience store and buy candy, 1 cent candy, because you never had more than, you never had a lot of money. You are gone. You end up at someone's house for a little bit. You probably would go to the school and hang out in the field or whatever. Like, you were like gone. No cell phones. And, payphones were only on the corners of like whatever stores. There wasn't one everywhere. I mean, I don't know. And they cost money. Who's going to put 10 cents in that when you can get 10 fireballs for 10 cents, right? In the 70s. So anyway, that was really what it was like. So this is rural, very small town. Probably pretty much everybody knows who everybody is, right? The schools probably didn't have big classes. So I'm sure that, age lapsed. People hanging out, I just don't see anything that would be unusual. I would today. But not in the 70s, I would not. Plus, back then, you were always supposed to look after your little kid, your little brother or sister or whatever. So that whole thing of a younger tag-along, to me, doesn't really seem that unreasonable. Just how it happened. What do I think? I think the doctor's sons did it. This is totally screaming local. I think they need to pull this out of the cold case files and they need to get DNA done on that hammer and those rags and anything else. If they saved the wire, I don't know what else they have. I'm sure I know that the bodies, some of them, they're not disclosing even where they're buried. Like, I think 2, you can find out where they are. 1, they don't know, I think. Pretty sure. But very sad. I mean, it's such a short video when you have 3 who have been unalived. And, you know, I feel so dismissive and unvalidating that this is such a short video, but it is, and because there's no more information. So that's what I got today. And I will make a notation, and I will follow up on this with you guys in the future. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. It's Nerd Night. Nerd Night is my friends and my husband, and they come, and I love the fog machine, so we turn that on. We make it all foggy in here, and we just have Nerd Night on mysteries. I think we're going to be doing Friday the 13th mysteries tomorrow. We're also doing a segment on that, I don't remember his name, I gotta look it up in my notes, the witch finder guy who would find the witches back in the day and, you know, started the whole witch thing, getting hung and all that. So that's going to be a really fun show. Bethany, the astrologer from Stardust and Pollen, she tries to do a show once a week with me. We just did one a couple days ago on Fergie and Andrew, so that was really good, and you should check that out if you can on YouTube. We are going to be expanding to Penteon, I think that's the name of it, and also into Substack and some others. So for the next month, we're going to be doing all of that. But anyway, Bethany tries once a week. So she does traveling. So we're going to do another show either next Tuesday or Wednesday. It's an interesting topic. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, though. It's not been confirmed, but it's going to be fascinating. And then I do my little quiet, really short shorts because politics with me and my mouth don't match, and so I want to keep my daughters and my husband happy that I'm not like embarrassing myself or going into some crazy freak out because of the world today. And then I do my mysteries. So thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you so choose. And I hope you're really enjoying being here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.